Hi, this is Mike Quebec, and welcome back to our Rocksteady Boxing series. In our previous video, we covered our sideways stance, we covered the jab, we covered the cross, we covered slipping using the legs, slipping, bobbing and weaving, vertical block, and shelling up. Right now, we're going to cover circular punches, the hooks. Hooks off of our lead hand, and then uppercuts off of both the lead hand and the rear hand. Remember, some things to keep in mind. Power is generated from the legs and hips, pushing off the ground, squatting into the ground, rotating the hips. That's how we create heavy, hard punches. It's not through the arms, which is counterintuitive. So here's a little drill right now and a little bit of a warm-up. All I would like our participants at home to do is stand with your feet about shoulder width, and we're just going to rotate the hips. I'm going to put my hands right on the hips. I know this doesn't look like boxing. Nobody boxes like this. But just to get used to turning. When you turn, back heel comes off the floor. Knees are bent, slight, very slight squat into the ground. When you turn that hip, it totally faces front. We turn the other way. Okay, so let's just get used to this motion right here at your own pace. Rather than going by reps, since everyone has a different pace that they are comfortable with, we're going to go by 30 seconds, okay? So the timer is going to come on in just a little bit. And we're just practicing hip rotation. Back heel comes off. And we're working this for about 30 seconds, turning the hip, turning the hips, turning the hips. Whatever direction you go, the opposite side's heel comes up. Whatever direction you go, the opposite side's heel comes up. And really turn that shoulder as well. Getting used to that hip rotation. Whole body rotates, actually. And when we're at 30 seconds, we're going to shake loose for just a little bit. Let's loosen up our shoulders just for a little bit. 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll do that again. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go for another 30-second set of that hip rotation with the heel coming up. But this time, I'm going to ask you to make fists. Remember, fingers go on the inside, thumbs on the outside. Hold them right at our cheeks. You're going to literally be squeezing your cheeks, elbows in, stomach is tight. And now we're going to rotate, turning the hips with the back heel coming off the floor. Let me say that again. Whatever direction you go, the back heel comes up. All right, 30 seconds, just like that. Go for that, please. Good. We're turning, whatever pace works for you. You want to go slower than I'm going? Great, do that. If you want to go faster, that's where I'm going to ask you to be cautious, be extra careful on that one. And of course, it's perfectly fine to hold on to a chair. Right now, I don't have a chair with me, but if you had a chair and you're practicing turning while holding the chair, you can do that. Otherwise, if you're completely standing, keep those fists hugging your cheeks. Good. And we'll shake loose again. Let's loosen up since we're just getting warm. 4, 5, 6, and we'll go the other direction. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to stand with my right side forward. Mirror image, that means this is actually for you orthodox, those of you who have your left side forward, which means you're a right-handed fighter, right? The weaker side is in front. The stronger side is back. So for those of you who have your left side forward, you're facing forward. I'm standing with my right side forward. And again, I'm going to turn and turn. Back heel comes up, front heel comes up. And I'm going to squat into the ground, have my shoulders over my knees, and this is going to be 30 seconds. Go for that, please. And we're keeping the hands right at the cheeks. But this time I'm looking straight ahead at you while I'm turning sideways, while I'm turned sideways to you. I want to keep my chin in too, protect my jawline. And we're turning, we're turning, we're turning. Keep on keeping on with that. Always one heel comes up. Whatever direction I go, the opposite heel comes up. and shake loose. Those of you who are comfortable with the left side forward, stay on that side. Those of you who want to have your right side forward, please do that. We're going to go 30 seconds on that. Ready, set, and let's go for it. That opposite heel comes up as we turn. We turn. We turn. Keep on rotating. Good. One heel comes up. We stay on this. We're on it. Stay on it. You want to go slower, you can go slower. That's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Hug the cheeks and shake loose. At this point, everything that I do right now, I'm going to do it with my right side forward. That way, those of you who are right-handed, which means your right side's back, I know that's counterintuitive, have your left side in front, you can mirror image. Those of you who are left-handed, which means your right side is forward, I'm going to turn my back to you in just a little bit, okay? So you can follow that way. All right, the hook. Ideally, the hook is a circular punch with your front arm. Let's go ahead and do this. Bend your front arm, have the palm facing down. Remember, have a slight bend in the elbow so you can hit with the knuckles, the front two knuckles, the elbows out. It's called a hook because you're literally making a hook shape. Okay, so it's a turning. It's a turning. If there was a target right in front of me, I'm hitting the side of my target. Here's the bag right here. So right here is a person's face, right? I'm hitting the side of their head right here. So I'm turning here. Okay, this is your hook. This is your hook, just like that. All right, so it is a circular punch. You're hitting the side. Let's just get used to this motion right here. Now, I'm in favor of small motions. Let me say that again. For boxing, the motions ideally are small. A lot of us get our ideas about martial arts from movies, from movie fight scenes. Well, everything there is big motions. You wind up in big. Well, the reason why they do it like that is because you have to see, the audience has to see what the actors are doing. But in real martial arts, including boxing, and yes, boxing is a martial art, everything has to be small. Small movement. So, this is what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to stand sideways to the screen. Have your front arm facing right here. Right now, we're just going to work the arm. I'm just going to bring the elbow up and turn just a little bit. Small movement. Let's just do this little drill for about 30 seconds. Just getting used to this, okay? So, 30 seconds, getting used to this. Your rear hand should be at your head. Just that small movement. It's not a big wind-up. It's a small movement with the arm. But the power is going to come from the hips when we add the hips in just a little bit. Just getting used to that. You should start to feel it in your arm right now. This is actually a good workout for the arm. Though, again, the power doesn't come from the arm. It comes from the legs and hips. Right now, we're just going used to the small movement. Okay, now, I'm going to take my boxing stance. Remember, pointing the toes at that angle. Bend the knees, shoulders right over the legs. Back heel is off the floor, and I'm getting a little bit of a movement. So, guys, you want to have a little bit of a springiness here. Here is the actual hook. My back heel is going to go flat on the ground. My front heel comes up. At the same time that I do that hip rotation, which is, you notice, this was the drill. That's when I do the small movement with the hook. This is your hook. Okay, I'm going nice and slow. For this one, I'm going to go slow, and I'm going to ask you to go slow too and get used to the movement for 1 minute. 1 minute of working the hook off of your lead hand. All right, go for that. Just getting used to that. This is the hook. Hip turns, front side of the hip turns, front heel comes up. Just getting used to that. And every time you throw it, you breathe out with a shushing sound. through your teeth. Use your diaphragm to breathe. In through the nose, into the diaphragm. Breathe out through the mouth, through clenched teeth, using your diaphragm. Just like that. Here's your hook. Here's your hook. That front heel comes off. Just like that. I don't want to have my rear hand right at my head. And I want to protect my jawline as I'm doing my hook. Alright? Just getting used to it. Circular punch, side of your target, and shake loose. Let's do that again. If you want to stay on the same side, which is a good idea, do that. If you want to switch and try on the other side, you're at your own house. You can do what you want, all right? Just be careful. Back heel's off the floor. 1 minute. And here it is. Turning. See, there's my target. I'm turning. There's my hook. There's my hook. Just like that. All right? So my target is right there. Boom. Hitting just to the side of the target. Okay? Don't forget to breathe. And bend the knees. There's your hook. I'm doing it with my back to you. Okay. Good. Uh-huh. And we just keep this up for a minute. That's it. Turn that hip. Good. Stay right on it. That's it. And shake loose. Usually, it's good to set up the hook with either a jab as an attack or a cross as a counter. Let's do it as an attack first. So I'm going to have my left side forward right now. Adjust depending on the side that works for you. Remember, the jab, you drive off of your back foot. So I'm going to step in with a jab, drive forward. There's my jab. As I snap it back, I turn over with the hook. Hook off the jab. My rear hand is at my head, so I'm pushing off jab, hook. And I'm moving with that. Jab, hook. One more time. There's your jab. There's your hook. One last time. There's your jab. There's your hook. Okay? Hook off the jab. See? So there's a jab, hook. It's the hook off the jab. Let's work that for 1 minute. Okay? And I'm just going to go really slow. And we're just working that. Hook off the jab. And we're moving. We're moving. Jab, hook. I'm going to add my slips, bobs, and weaves if I can. Jab, hook. We're shadow boxing. Jab, hook. Just working that. Jab, hook. I'm keeping that other hand right at my face. Imagining that another punch is coming at me and I got to protect my face there. It's not to stay pretty. It's to make sure you're not knocked out, right? For our purposes, in case we lose balance when we fall forward, which sadly is a part of the condition, at least you're able to protect your face if you fall forward, right? So keep that front hand up there. Hook off the jab. Hook off the jab. If I go light on the bag, that's hook off the jab. And shake loose. Well, that's the hook as an attack, if you're attacking with the hook. What about if you're countering? Countering means that an attack is coming, you defend from that, and then you fire back. Usually you would throw the hook after a cross. So this is why we did this drill. This drill with the hips turning and the heels coming off the floor. Because your back heel would be your cross coming. See, back heel coming up, that would be your cross. Your front heel would be your hook. Ideally, when you do this, it's one continuous motion. What I mean by that is you're not going stop, stop. It is turn, turn. Let me do that again. turn, turn. This is the cross and the hook. Turn, turn. I'll do it with my back to you. Cross, hook. I'll do it on the bag. Cross, hook. Cross, hook. I'll do it southpaw. Here it is. Cross, hook. Again. Cross, hook. I'll turn my back to you right here. And cross, hook. Okay. Cross, hook. So, now that we got used to that the back heel comes up, front heel comes up. As you throw your cross and you retract, while retracting the cross, the hook comes. Let me say it again. After you've thrown the cross, as you retract, as you're retracting, that's when you throw the hook. As you retract. You know, this could be a drill in itself, where you're grabbing and pulling, see? Grab and pull and turn. Let's drill that, see? Let's practice that, and might as well get some dexterity work while we're at it, okay? So here's what I want you to do. Reach forward and grab and pull back and throw the hook. Pull back and throw the hook. Pull back and throw the hook, see? This pull back drill gets us used to the idea that as we retract the cross, the hook comes in one motion, see? As you're retracting the cross, the hook comes. You're not doing cross and then hook. It's cross, as you retract, you throw the hook. So let's do that a couple of times. Get some dexterity work with that rear hand. Reach forward as if you've thrown a cross. Pull back and throw the hook. Reach and pull, throw the hook. 2. Let's go 10 more. Reach and pull, throw the hook. That's 3. Reach and pull, throw the hook. That's 4. Reach and pull, that's 5. Reach and pull, that's 6. Reach and pull, that's 7. Reach and pull, that's 8. Reach and pull, that's 9. Reach and pull, that's 10. 2 more. And good. I'm going to go the other side. Okay, so actually do it sort of as a cross when we start with your rear hand. But let's get some dexterity work in our fingers. So I'm going to reach. Now I'm going to pull back and throw that hook. That gets us used to the idea that the hook comes off of the cross's retraction. As we retract the cross, we throw the hook. As we retract the cross, we throw the hook. As we retract the cross, we throw the hook. Let's do 8 more. And here's 7 more. Oh, and 6 more. And 5 more. And 4 more. And 3. And 2. And last one. Okay, let's shake loose. All right, now that we got the idea that the hook off the cross comes off of the retraction of that cross. It's not cross, stop, hook, but it's cross, hook. Let's drill that. Let's drill that for 1 minute, cross, hook. Okay, so here we go. And here it is. Cross, hook. We're moving. Cross, hook. We're moving with that. Cross, hook. Moving around. Cross, hook. Moving, moving. Work in your slips too. You okay? Cross, hook. Slip, slip. Moving with it. Cross, hook. Shell, shell. Cross, hook. Weave, weave. Cross, hook. I like that weaving. That really works our legs. Cross, hook. Shell. Cross, hook. I didn't show you how to shoulder check. That's something else that you can do. You hit the guy, then you check on his arms with your shoulder. That's something for a later video. Here it is. Cross, hook. Maybe we'll do a dirty boxing video for another video. Something to think about, folks. And it's fun. Just don't do it on your friends. Well, unless your friend annoys you when you're sparring. Here it is. Cross hook. I did say it's a counter, so the idea is a punch is coming at you. Let's say I'm fighting or sparring with an orthodox fighter. Left hand is facing me. He throws a hook at me. I would weave underneath. Now I would throw a cross hook. Let me do that again. So weave in the direction of the rear hand. Whatever rear hand that is, that's the direction that you weave to. That other arm is up, cross hook. So let me do that a couple more times. Weave in the direction of your rear leg or rear hand, cross hook. Right from here, weave in the direction. This is my rear leg. This is my rear hand. I'm going to weave that way. I drop straight down from my legs, weave in that direction. As I come up, there's your cross, there's your hook. Okay, let's work that. Weaving in the direction of your rear hand or rear foot. And let's throw a cross and a hook. Ready, set, and let's do it. Weave, cross, hook. Usually we throw a double jab at the end of that too, you know. So weave, cross, hook, and there's a 2 jabs. And when you do 2 jabs, you do have to push off the ground with your back leg. Weave, cross, hook, double jab. Moving, staying light on the balls of our feet. Weave, cross, hook, double jab. This is how it works on the bag. That's it. Weave, cross, hook, 2 jabs. And a few more. Weave, cross, hook, 2 jabs. Notice I keep the hands up. I try not to do the double jab like that. No kitty pawing. No pawing. Okay? Weave, cross, hook, 2 jabs. And weave, cross, hook, 2 jabs. A few more. Make sure that lead shoulder is facing your imaginary target. Weave, cross, hook, 2 jabs. And weave, cross, hook, 2 jabs. We're moving. And shake loose. If you've been doing this for a while, these muscles will be tightening up. So let's loosen up just a little bit. Let's loosen them up. And then we're going to go back to attacking, adding the hook as a combination. Loosen up the other way before we continue. And I'm going to ask you to clasp your palms behind you and push back. Remember, at any time during this video, you can pause and get water at your convenience. Otherwise, let's use the hook again as an attack, as part of a combination. So it's going to be a jab, cross, hook. Jab, cross, hook. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can come in straight, and then, of course, you're attacking here. Or, what I like to do is I like to outflank my opponent, or fake, turn right here. Now I've got one side. Then I blitz in when I do this. Now I've only got one side to face him. Something to think about. Right now, let's try the first option because that's the easier option. And then I'm going to show the second one, that little blitz. So the first option is just doing the jab, cross, hook. Then doing your defense. Okay? Jab, cross, hook. Doing your defense. Keeping the hands here, chin down. Jab, cross, hook. Doing the defense. And jab, cross, hook. Ideally, half-beat rhythm, even if we go slow. Once one is thrown, the other one is going. That's how you can be fast even when going slow. See, here it is. Jab, cross, hook. You notice the punches are small and tight. We never reach for the punches. So, let's do this for 30 seconds. Ready? Just getting used to that. Go for that. 30 seconds. 30-second burst. Jab, cross, hook. And jab, cross, hook. That's it. Just getting used to that. This is shadowing. Shadow boxing. Have my lead shoulder in front. And I'll do it on the bag. Okay. And something to work on. Jab, cross, hook. Good. Shake loose. Blitzing. Blitzing. the idea is to outflank your imaginary opponent. For us, it's another coordination drill. Okay, so we're doing this to combat the effects and the symptoms of Parkinson's. So for us, we're using this as a coordination drill and also to work the mind. First thing, before I can do the outflanking on my opponent, I want to get used to faking, fainting. So this is where you get to have a lot of fun. The idea is this: if you've ever gone boo to a friend while waiting behind the door, that's what you would have to do when you fake somebody out. So when I fake somebody out, I don't just go like that. I have to give it a little bit of explosiveness, okay? A little bit of explosiveness. So I'm just relaxed here, and then I suddenly jerk my body just a little bit. Boom. Okay? That's how you would fake somebody out. That's how you get a reaction. Boom. So here's all I want you to do. This is going to feel really funny for those of you who have never done this before. And I recommend, if the balance is an issue, hold on to a chair, okay? But this is all I want you to do. For 1 minute, just stand relaxed, and then boom, suddenly just jerk your body as if you're going to attack, even though if you don't mean to attack somebody, okay? So you're just here, there's your fake. There's your fake. I like to put my hip into it too, because I do kickboxing. I like to make them think that I'm going to throw a kick in one way before I go the other way. So there's that hip feint. See? Hip fake, see? Boom. Okay? Practice that for 1 minute. You're just relaxed and boom. You're just relaxed and boom. Here's your fake. And boom. Get a little bit of a head shake too. Boom. Okay? 1 minute. This is probably going to feel really funny for folks who have never done this before. If that's how you're doing, you're just relaxed. Fake it. Fake it. Good. Fake it. That's it. Fake. Just here. Fake. Good. Relaxed. Fake. Totally relaxed and fake. And relaxed and fake. One more time. Relaxed and fake. Good. Fake. Hip fake. Okay, and good. Next part. I am going to do a little bit of a pivot step. So my weight is on my front foot. I have to push off of my front foot. As I push, my rear shoulder is going to come a little forward. Let me say that again. Weight is on the front foot. I push off of that front foot. I pick up my rear foot. I do a little bit of a pivot. My rear shoulder is going to come a little forward. But no, I'm not going to square up with my opponent. I'm turning my whole body. So I'm here, and I pivot out. It's an outward pivot in the direction of my rear side. So for me, since my right side is my rear, I'm pivoting towards my right. This is the idea. This is my opponent. He's got two hands facing me. So if I fake him one side and I push here, now I've got, if he had two hands facing me, now I only have to deal with one side of him. Now I only have to deal with his left hand. If I'm facing him here, I got to deal with both his left and right. And if he's bigger than me, I'm going to come out the loser on that. So fake, turn this way, pivot this way. Now I only have his left side to deal with. Of course, we're working for Parkinson's, but you're imagining that. That way you get used to using the mind. So this is what I want you to practice. Hip fake, outward pivot, get one side of your opponent. Let me do that again. Hip fake, push off of your front foot, pivot out and step out with your rear foot, face one side of your opponent. Again, hip fake, pivot out, cross hook. Hip fake, pivot out, cross hook. Or hip fake, pivot out, jab cross hook. The jab is quicker because it's the front hand, the hand that's nearest the target. The rear hand has more power, but it takes a little longer to get there. So this isn't as powerful, but it does get there sooner. Again, hip fake, outward pivot. I'm going to do a jab cross hook. Jab cross hook. Let's do 12 of those, okay? And you can either do the same side as me, or you could do the opposite side facing me. All right, so like this. Here's the hip fake, pivot out, jab cross hook. And practice your slips, bobs, and weaves, or you can shoulder check. Okay, we'll do that again. Hip fake, pivot out, jab cross hook, and there's your slipping, shoulder check. Let's do 10 more. 10 more. Here it is. Hip fake, pivot out, jab cross hook, pivot, switch. Okay, here it is. Let's do 9 more. Hip fake, pivot out, jab cross hook. I'm going to shoulder check, slip. Let's go 8 more. Ready? So we're here. I'm playing around with the rhythm now. See, I'm relaxed. Then I fake, pivot out, jab cross hook, and I might shoulder check him. When you do this, it actually has to go in one motion. Let's go just a few more. Just relax. Fake. Okay. Let's do just a few more. Go slowly. Fake. Outward pivot. Jab cross hook. You notice I'm bridging the gap, the distance between me and my imaginary opponent there. Get used to distance management. Fake. Pivot out. Jab cross hook. We outflank our opponent. Let's do just a few more. Fake, pivot out, jab cross hook. And let's do 1 more. Fake, pivot out, jab cross hook. All right. I mentioned a thing called a blitz. Blitzkrieg sounds like World War II. Well, it is. It's fast, speed. This is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to be in your sideways stance, back heels off the floor. You drive off of your back foot till your weight's on your front. Now, since you're already going forward, take that rear foot, bring it to the front foot. Now we just switch. It might seem that we're switching stances, but actually, in relation to an imaginary opponent, you're not. But right now, let's just get used to this movement. Let's get used to that. We're going to do one side, we'll do the other. Back heels off the floor. Push off of the back foot. Weight's already going forward. Drag and step forward. Switch that. If I was holding onto a rope with my rear hand, I would be pulling on that rope. That would give me even more momentum as I push off the ground. Pull with that front hand, push with the ground. So I'm here. Push and pull. Switch it. Good. Let's do a few more. Weights forward. Back heels off the floor. I'm pulling and pushing. Good. Couple more times. Right here. Pull and push. I'm driving forward. Pull and push. Few more. Pull and push. Last one. Be sure that when you switch your feet, have the hands up in case we fall forward, okay? Pull and push. And last one. Pull and push. Let's switch stances. Those of you who want to switch. If you don't want to switch, stay on the same side. Back heels off the floor. Knees are bent. I'm going to push off of that back foot. My weight transfers to my front. My rear foot comes to the front. It surpasses it and step forward. Let me do that again. Knees are bent. Back heels off the floor. I push off of the back foot. My weight's already transferred to my front. The rear foot comes to the front and it switches. Like this. We're going forward. Front hand. Front hand right here. I'm going to practice pulling as I drive off of my back foot and switch. Let's do 10 of those. Ready? And 10. Good. And 9. Good. And 8. There it is. And 7. Driving forward, driving forward. And 6. Good. And 5. And 4. And here it is, 3. And 2. And here's our last one before I switch to my orthodox stance. Obviously, in real life, you're not just going to reach out here. This is a jab. This is a jab. That pulling was the retraction. So now I'm going to go really slow. Jab, cross, hook with the legs switching. So I'm here. As I lean forward, I push off. There's my jab. As this rear foot comes, I'm throwing across. There's my hook. Let me do that again. Facing you. I push off. There's my jab, cross, hook. Right here. Fake, fake. Jab, cross, hook. Do that again. Jab, cross, hook. So, within the context of sparring or sports combat, this is not a knockout blow. This is an outflanking maneuver. This is so that way you're dealing with one side of your opponent as opposed to two. Actually, I have to illustrate that because that might be hard to imagine. I'm going to ask my supervisor, Rob, to come up here. Rob is half my age and taller and stronger than I am. If we were to trade blows, I'd lose. And you notice, let's just square up with each other there and have both arms right here. He's got a reach advantage and he's stronger than I am. If we're trading blows right here, I'll lose. There's no way I would stand a chance there. So ideally, if I'm dealing with him, it's much better, more advantageous for me to deal with one side of him. Now I have a little bit of a better chance. He's still pretty strong, this guy. But it's much better for me to deal with this side of him, where I only have to deal with this. And of course, if he turns, I've got this to deal with, right? Rather than here. Here, he can take what I'm throwing, and it'll probably annoy him. He hits me, I'm down, okay? But now if I'm dealing only with this side, he won't get hurt as much because I'm a smaller guy, but at least I won't have to eat his right hand there, okay? So that's the whole point of that. Thank you. For our purposes, however, since we're combating the symptoms of Parkinson's disease, you're using your mind. I want you to imagine that. Yes, most likely you're not going to get in the ring and spar with each other, but I want you to visualize that and imagine that, because that's also part of combating the effects of Parkinson's, okay? So, this is our effect. This is what we're going to be doing. We're going to fake, pivot out again. Now I'm going to do that blitz. I push off. There's my jab. There's my cross. I've already switched my feet. There's my hook. It'll stun my opponent, but it won't necessarily knock him out. But now I'm here. Now I only have one side to deal with. Now I can drop my bombs and work them. Okay? It's much better to deal with one side of an opponent than to deal with both sides. Let's drill that. Let's drill the jab, cross, hook. Let's go for 12. Okay, get a little bit of a movement. Jab, cross, hook. Switch at the end. Again, jab, cross, hook. Now that you're on one side of him, you would just turn. You didn't really switch stances because look, your rear side is still back there. Your front side, whatever side that was, is still in front. It's just that now you've just changed your orientation in relation to an imaginary opponent. Let's go 10 more. Here it is. And jab, cross, hook. Return. See, we're still in that stance that we started with. For those of you who are orthodox, left foot forward, right foot back. jab, cross, hook. I face my side, the side that I want to take of my opponent, and I still have my left foot forward, right foot back. See? I'm still left foot forward, right foot back. I didn't really switch stances, but I did switch positions on the opponent. Let's do a few more. And jab, cross, hook. Reset. Get a little bit of a movement. Jab, cross, hook. Good. Little bit of a movement. Jab, cross, hook. Let's just do 4 more. And jab, cross, hook. 3 more. Movement. Jab, cross, hook. 2 more. Jab, cross, hook. And we'll do 1 more. Jab, cross, hook. Switching the feet. Change your position. Now you haven't switched feet. Okay, now I'm going to switch to the other side. I'm going to do southpaw. I'm going to go slowly. I'm getting a little bit of a motion. Push off of that back foot. There's my jab, cross. There's your hook. And now face your opponent. And if you had started with your right foot in front, you still will end with your right foot in front. It's just now at an angle. Do that again. Here it is. Right foot's in front. Jab, cross, hook. Left foot comes forward. I turn. Right foot still in front. 10 more. Here it is. And jab, cross, hook. 9 more. Here we go. Jab, cross, hook. 8 more. Here it goes. Jab, cross, hook. 7 more. And jab, cross, hook. 6 more. And then I'm going to tell you where this all comes from. Here it is. Jab, cross, hook. There's 5 more. And jab, cross, hook. There's 4 more. Here we go. And jab, cross, hook. 3 more. And jab, cross, hook. There's 2 more. And jab, cross, hook. Last one. Getting a little bit of a movement. Jab, cross, hook. That's it. If you want to see this in action on YouTube, there are 2 fighters that you can see. A variation would come from the late marvelous Marvin Hagler. He would do that. It's similar. It's kind of similar. He would do this advancing thing where he's here. That's what he would do on his opponents a lot of times. When he used to box in the 80s, he'd be like in a southpaw. He'd hear, and that's how he would come in and bridge the gap on the distance there. The full blitz that we've been doing actually comes from a kickboxer by the name of Joe Louis. When I say Joe Louis, I don't mean the brown bomber who fought Max Schmeling in the 40s. I mean Joe Louis, the golden boy, an American kickboxer, pioneer in kickboxing. He was also a decent boxer, and he was a karate black belt. He was also an associate of Bruce Lee's in the late 60s and early 70s. He would blitz in on his opponents, and that's where this comes from. All right, our next section is coming up. All right, we covered the jab, the cross, the hook, but we didn't cover an uppercut. Uppercut is going to be one of the easiest things physically. Physically, it's going to be one of the easiest things to do. Emotionally, it might be hard to do. Because if I say uppercut, movie images, particularly from cartoons, Popeye, this thing, people think you wind it. That's not an uppercut. That's a fictional movie thing. Uppercut is really just a slight bend in the knees to get underneath your target, and then you drive forward, either with a jab, but instead of a jab here, it's a jab here. It's an upside down jab. See? It's really just a jab, but you turn upside down. That's for one version of the uppercut. The other uppercut, slight bend, and then you're going to rise up. is a cross. But rather than doing a cross here, this is your cross. Notice I'm not winding it. I'm trying to shoot from my face. So if you already know how to do a jab and a cross, you do know how to do an uppercut. I have to illustrate. You might be wondering, well, why do you have to turn the punches over? What's the point in that? Well, for Parkinson's, the point is you're working your coordination. For actual boxing and sparring, this is the reason. I'm going to ask my supervisor to come up. I'm going to be the target right now. I'm going to be the target. He's going to do this on me. So let's say we're sparring and he can see that I've really got my hands up. Well, it's kind of hard for him to get through. He throws a hook, throws the hooks there. I'm covered up. But you notice no matter how much I'm covered up, there is this gap right here in between. So this is the whole point of an uppercut. He'll do a jab uppercut. See, there's your jab. That's it. Yeah, my hands are up, but it still goes through. It still goes through, especially if he sets it up. So this is how he can set it up. He'll throw a straight jab. I shell. Of that jab, you throw a hook. This one right here. So the jab, there's a hook. Oh, now I've shelled up there, but now I'm open for an uppercut there or an uppercut there, because even though I'm covered, there's still always a gap. That's the whole point of it. So again, my guard is up. He decides to just shoot an uppercut right through my guard. That's the whole point of the uppercut. The other option for an uppercut is if we're in tight here and we're in close, he might dip this way and throw an uppercut to my solar plexus. Oh, that'll drop me right there. Solar plexus is the area. It's not the gut. So, if a person is conditioned with six-pack abs, he's not going to feel anything in the stomach. The solar plexus is directly underneath the chest and above the where the stomach would be, underneath the sternum. So we're here, and he's faking me out. He's faking, yeah, that would drop me. Thanks for not dropping me. Okay, that actually would hurt. Okay, so those of you who are learning this for Parkinson's, please don't do this at the senior center. Well, unless somebody at bingo is obnoxious, then you can do that. So this is the whole point. I'm going to dip a little bit from the legs, and this is a jab, but it's an upside down jab. That's your uppercut. Dip, bend the knees, upside down. There's your upside down jab. Bend and straighten. There's your upside down jab. That's your first kind of uppercut. Your second kind of uppercut is a bend from the knees, and it's an upside down cross. Bend from the knees, upside down cross. Upside down cross. Upside down jab. Upside down cross. Upside down jab. Upside down cross. Upside down jab. Upside down jab. Upside down cross. Upside down jab. Upside down cross. They say when you're teaching something, you should never really show the mistake because it ingrains subconsciously. I'm going to do the wrong thing. I'm going to show you the mistake. Uppercut. Uppercut. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, okay? Upside down jab. Upside down cross. Let's do a few more. Upside down jab. Upside down cross. Upside down jab. Upside down cross. Jab cross, or uppercut, uppercut, jab cross, uppercut, uppercut. You should always do some kind of defense because the person's throwing back at you. Jab cross or uppercut, uppercut. Jab cross, check, check. Might as well show what that is before. When we close out, I'll show you what I meant by checking. Jab cross or uppercut, uppercut. Uppercut, uppercut. Uppercut, uppercut. Uppercut, uppercut. Two more. Uppercut, uppercut. Last one. Uppercut, uppercut. Always keep the hands up. Before we close this out, I should show you what I meant by checking, because that way you're using your imagination. Let me say this again. When you're shadow boxing, you're using your imagination. When you use your mind, that's another way that we combat these symptoms of Parkinson's. I'm going to ask my supervisor to come here. Modern boxing, you're not supposed to hold your opponent. So if Rob sees that I'm very fast with my hands and he just, with his front hand, he just checks me like that, that's against the rules, okay? But he can do this, sort of. My hands are here. He could put his shoulder right into me. There it is. Now he's just checking me. That's what I mean by checking. I can't hit him from there. See, if he doesn't check me, we're boom, 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 boom. But he can't check me here. Now I can't hit him. That's what I meant by checking. You're leaning your shoulder into your opponent. Cool. All right, so to summarize what we have so far, we have our stance, we have our forward, we have our back footwork. Now we also added a hip feint and we added a inward pivot. We have the jab, we have the cross, we have the hook. The uppercut is either an upside down cross or it's an upside down jab. We have slipping, we have bobbing and weaving, we have shelling up, and we do have a vertical block. So far, that is the basics of our adaptive boxing to deal with the symptoms of Parkinson's. In our next video, I'm going to show other things taken from boxing, as well as other martial arts that we can use to help combat the symptoms and help deal with the effects of Parkinson's while we work our mind, while we work our coordination, and we also get a workout for our heart and our muscular endurance. Thank you.